Hi, I'm Cathy Skipper from Aromanosis, and in this video I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about how we use Angelica root essential oil and Angelica seed essential oil in the work of Aromanosis. It belongs to the Apiaceae family or parsley family and has the typical umbel flower. The Angelica flower is actually quite big compared to some of the other members of the family. It's cauliflower sized really, and it is on a long 1 to 2 meter, very, quite thick but hollow stem. Its roots are aromatic and so are the seeds. The leaves are also aromatic, but less so than the roots and seeds. It grows in damp, humid places and doesn't need full sunlight, so you'll often find it in wooded areas along streams and rivers. You'll have the stream and the river, then maybe a track or a path, and then just next to that, a few feet away from the water, you'll have the Angelica plants. So although we're going to be talking about the Angelica Archangelica, there are many different species of Angelica all over the world, several in Northern America. And my intimate journey with Angelica has been through the Archangelica and the essential oil, but also through my own wildcrafting in France, where we had the Angelica sylvestris that would grow wild, again, along the river sides. And it's pretty similar to the Archangelica, but a little smaller with more purple colour to the stem. But the uses were very similar. So you may not have you definitely won't have, unless you're in Central or Northern Europe, the wild Angelica Archangelica, but you will probably have a species more common to your area, so it's worth looking that up. And as I said before, Archangelica is grown commonly in medicinal herb gardens, and you can grow it in your garden. Having said that, it is quite capricious. So if you don't succeed at first by growing it from the seeds, try again. Some people say you have to get a plant and then let it seed and allow the seeds to drop and then just seed themselves. Others say that you need to really look after them and seed them inside and then take them outside and really tend them. But I think it just depends on the soil, the exposition, and it's worth trying and retrying, because once you do get an Angelica in the garden, it's just amazing, a beautiful presence of this amazing plant. So why is it called Angelica Archangelica? Well, there are a few stories about this. It's an amazing name. I mean, a double angel. And one of the stories goes that an angel came to a monk in his dreams at the time of the plague, saying that this is the plant that you need to use to ward off the diseases, the plague, the evil spirits, that it's really a plant for protection and warding off all the disease, all the bad things that can happen to man. So then apparently it got its name from that. The other possibility was that in the old calendar, the time of the year that was Archangel Gabriel in the calendar was around the same time, I think beginning of May, when the Angelica plants were flowering. So then it was given this link to Archangel Gabriel. So those are some possibilities. Other possibilities, some books say that, it's just because it's such a beautiful healing plant that it is angelic in its spirit and nothing bad can happen to you when you've got Angelica. And that's why in magical sources they cite that the Angelica might have been used as a little amulet carried for protection, or chewed even to protect you from diseases and bacteria and infection, but also to protect you from the evil spirit. So it's been used since the ancient times in herbal medicine. All the big herbalists in Europe from the 16th century onwards mention the use of Angelica. And when I was learning to be a herbalist, the three main spheres of use for Angelica were the respiratory system, as it's a very good expectorant, the digestive system, it's carminative and helps with digestion. And finally, there's a really nice link to the feminine in the fact that it's useful for the reproductive system, especially for menopause. So those are things you can look into. That's not what I'm interested in here. My work's moved on from, you know, I'm leaving the physical aspects of herbal medicine to those people who are really great at it and are putting their energy there. So there's plenty written about and videos about Angelica for the physical system. But what I'm interested in is how we use it in the work of aromatherapy. So for those people who aren't familiar with our work, I just want to outline here that we only use essential oils, principally just smelling them. Occasionally we may use a drop on a point, but that's it. We're not making any products or using them internally in any way. So let's start with a small story about how I became intimate with the Angelica root. As a young herbalist, my teacher taught us that it was very anchoring. It grounded you. And she advised us to put a drop under our feet in the morning. And one of my problems was that I was not grounded. That's why I loved gardening and plants, I think, because I needed that grounding energy. So it rang a bell in my head, and I bought myself some Angelica root essential oil. And in the mornings, I'd put a drop underneath the sole of each foot, rub it on a little bit, and before I put my socks on. And straight away, I was astounded at how I felt myself far more present. It was as if I put a plug in the socket and I suddenly was here on earth. And I felt grounded and anchored and more able to enjoy life because I was here more. So I suffered from dissociation, and it was one of the first tools that I used for that. And for a long time, I kept it at that. Angelica root is for grounding. And as time went on and our work with aromatherapy has developed, I definitely wanted to carry on working with Angelica and see if it could take me further and show me other things. As I developed my intimate relationship with Angelica, I realized that it doesn't just anchor us in the physical body and here on earth, but it actually anchors us within the psyche. So we get to know more about the different aspects of ourselves, our emotions, our thoughts, our spirituality. It enables us to anchor into this, feel it, see what the obstacles are in each aspect of the psyche, and get more in tune and in alignment with our authentic selves. So from there, we can really know, what am I feeling? What am I desiring? What am I thinking? And from this point of authentic self, it's easier to come into relationship with others and with the world. I am excited to be able to work with both a very, very high quality Angelica root essential oil and a seed essential oil, both from the same place in France. And I really like working with them separately because you can tune into the different, they work on the same level, but they have a different feel to them. So the root is heavier. It anchors us deeply within. Some people find it much easier at first to work with the root because it's in a way more explanatory. It's denser. It shows us what's happening. We can feel ourselves, we can feel our center, we can feel our groundedness. But the seed is also really nice. Imagine the plant when it's in seed, that beautiful, as I said, cauliflower-sized umbel with the seeds, these aromatic seeds ready to give themselves to creativity, to make more plants. Well, that's really the feel that you get when using the essential oil of the seed. There's something more expansive, airier, greener. It's very, very alive. So I really like working with, you know, all parts of my psyche and this idea of getting to know myself more and centering myself within, and like a ladder going through all these different aspects of myself. But with, you know, there are different tonalities with each oil. And then what's great, and that's why in Cathy's Attars we sell them in little 2 milliliter bottles, is so that people can buy both and then bring them together. And then you really, really feel the plant inside you with this wonderful, in a way, the hollow stem is like that you can journey upwards and you can journey downwards. You can anchor and you can expand into the world. And the aromatics in the roots and the aromatics in the seeds, when they come together, really gives us this beautiful alignment from this connection with spirituality, with the cosmic realms, with the fact that in the psyche we are connected to the collective unconscious, to all that is. And then at the same time, down below, these aromatic roots bring us down here into the physical. We are in a physical body, we're anchored on the earth, and we have stuff to do on the earth. So bringing them together is just a beautiful combination. And I will say we use them really with people that are needing to come back into their bodies, that might have been traumatized with PTSD and are suffering from dissociation or anxiety, because the combination brings a really lovely calming center to the feeling of self. So those are really good uses for this oil. And really the core of this beautiful plant, the message, is about accepting and loving the self. This is what the angelic side, we could say, to this plant, is that it really does remind us that we are lovable, and that the first thing to do is to love ourselves. And we don't have to make an effort. With the Angelica, this energy of the plant really does just in ourselves remind us of the fact that we must start by loving ourselves. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant. So the way we use it in aromanosis is just to smell it. If you're suffering from dissociation and you really want to start working on coming back into the body and embodiment, then I advise a drop underneath each foot in the morning. You could also put a drop here and then put it around your aura. So it would be like, I'm going out into the day and I'm making an effort. I'm coming here. I'm committing to be here. I'm ready to heal. So that would be one good way of using it, or just keeping it in your pocket. And when you feel yourself, for any reason, feeling anxious, feeling the symptoms of PTSD, so that you're starting to want to dissociate and not be here, then you can get it out of your pocket and just smell it. And I will say that it's helped me enormously over the years. And I'm really appreciating the fact that I no longer am dissociated most of my day, that I'm here, that I'm enjoying life, that I'm part of life, that just being here is a joy. And I think that's one of the things or one of the main things that Angelica essential oil can do in this healing work. Okay, well, I hope that helped you to understand Angelica oil a little bit more on the more subtle levels of healing, and I'll be back with another video for another plant later on. And enjoy this beautiful oil, make the most of it, and come into the world.